What's your ministry? Well, if you think about the word ministry, what it means, you can easily relate it to whatever your livelihood is. What is your livelihood? Your livelihood is what you do for a living. It's your job. I know we tend to glamorize going to church, being part of various sub-organizations in the church, like a usher board, a steward, or a choir ministry. We call that ministries because we say we're doing the work of the Lord, but if you really think about it, that's not really a practical service, so to speak, in the real world. That's kind of a break from your real ministry, which is your job. And the reason why I figured I wanted to talk about this particular subject is because of an encounter I had with an individual, and he's a dishwasher. And we were discussing, we began to discuss ministry because he was talking about his church. And I got to thinking, and it's like, okay, you're working a job that you obviously hate. And yeah, that's what brought this to my mind. He was complaining about the job, about other people on the job, and how he would rather be doing something else aside from washing dishes. I mean, if you really look at it, being a dishwasher at a restaurant, for a restaurant, it's a needed service. I mean, it helps to keep cleanliness in order. Sanitation helps to keep people from getting sick. But he wasn't digging it. And he talked about moving on or moving up. And, he talked about going into management or what have you. And if you think about it, although he wasn't satisfied with what he was doing was a practical service, a valuable service. And that was his ministry, although he didn't see it that way. I know we tend to believe that, okay, let me recruit people to come to this church that I go to and assimilate souls, change people's minds to think according to our religious beliefs and practices. But come on now. What is that really doing? They call it building the kingdom of God. But now God's kingdom is pretty much already built. It's already built. And even the biblical Messiah said, I go to prepare a place. So whatever else that needed to be done as far as building the kingdom of God is concerned, he's already done it. And for anybody that can go to church, like this individual I'm speaking of, I don't want to give his name, but anybody that could go to a church as if it's a ministry and then come back to work during a regular work week where he's actually performing a service, a true service, but he's complaining about it. He hadn't found his true ministry, but nevertheless, his ministry was right there washing dishes. His livelihood. Whatever your livelihood is, that's what your ministry is. Whatever you do for a living in service for others, that's your ministry. That's what a ministry is. So another thing, when he talked about moving up, possibly on the management, that expresses a desire for ascension. I mean, we don't want to be stationary in one spot for too long. Not many people do. We either want to move up in rank and position, make more money, what have you. We want to grow and expand. And that's what a ministry is supposed to do for you. Allow for you to grow and expand in your life as you're providing a service of practical value to other people around you in the world. Consider what you do for a livelihood. That's your ministry. I mean, if you're not satisfied with it, as this guy was, then you may have some mental reevaluations to do. Because if you think the church and assimilating souls into a religious mindset is a ministry, and you're not satisfied with what you're doing in the real world, that's conflict. And it proves that what's going on in a church with you is not a ministry after all. So understanding what your true ministry is at the moment is very crucial. It's very crucial for you to establish a foundation so you can figure out what you want to do and what you want your real ministry to be about, which is your livelihood. Your ministry is your livelihood. Are you enjoying your livelihood? I know this guy wasn't. The people around him was making him miserable. The work was laborious, according to him. And he was miserable. But as we talked, it was clear he didn't want to accept the possibility or the possibility of at that current moment, that dishwashing job was his ministry. So for him not to want to really see the truth of the matter, chances are kind of slim for growth and expansion. If you can't see the truth of your situation, then the dissatisfaction will remain, and that will grow and expand. Seeing the truth about your situation is very crucial to really seeing and understanding what your ministry is as opposed to what it should be. It's called facing the music. It's called being realistic. So, what's your ministry? Are you satisfied with it? If you are, then well and good. But if you're not, maybe this talk will put a new viewpoint and perspective for you. Since whatever you're doing for your livelihood, if you don't like it, if you see it as a ministry, it can actually change the way you think about what you're doing. If you see it as a ministry, you can see it in a more positive light. And when you shed light on your situation, which is what positivity is, the light, just like sunlight, causes plants to grow. The light will cause you, your ministry, to grow and expand, or even to change if change is necessary. Therefore, If you want to see the truth of your situation, if you're wanting to understand how to shed some light on your situation, to see what you do for your livelihood as a true ministry as opposed to just a daily drudge or a daily grind that you have to endure. Can't wait till 5 o'clock. Time to get off. Can't wait for the weekend. Because you're looking at your situation from the wrong viewpoint. This book, Power Spiritology, by Dario Thomas. It's on sale at Amazon.com. It can show you how to shed light, real spiritual light, the light of positivity on your livelihood, and also give you clarity in your mind. And when you shine the spotlight on both your livelihood and bring clarity to your mind, you'll understand what you need to do, where you need to go, and how you can grow and expand in your ministry. Again, your ministry is your livelihood. It's what you do for a living. Thank you for listening. Join or subscribe to the Spiritology television network on YouTube. Get the book, The Power Spiritology by Dario Thomas. Appreciate your time, and God bless.